Hi everyone, it's me, Amanda Marie, and I am here to talk to you about a friend of mine's health journey. And also, if you have any comments about your own health journey, I would love for you to post them as we go along. And for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Amanda Marie. I'm an artist and a rock musician who has turned health advocate over the years. And I'm here to share my health journey with you as well as learn more about your health journey. So without further delay, this is my friend John Gonzales.
Hi, everyone.
And he actually went from 220 pounds to 175. And I am just going to interview him about this and how he did it and what his process was. So first of all, what made you make the change? Was there like a specific incident, or was it a combination of things that led you to want to change?
Yes, well, growing up, I had spent most of my life overweight. Um, Starting off as a kid who was always active, and then probably around the fourth grade was when I started to like gain weight. So from fourth to pretty much my junior year of high school, I was overweight, and it's not the very best being overweight, and so I was motivated to lose that much weight by my junior year, because I had noticed I wanted a change in my life. Like it's very hard, or I found it very hard to find love, you could say, or just find interest in, or someone who's interested in you. And I was very unhappy, you could say. And I needed a change. I wanted to change, so I went for it.
Cool. That's amazing. So you were just kind of going along in school. Did you deal with any bullying, or was there any specific incident that really like stood out to you and you're like, okay, that's it. This is why?
There's not really necessarily bullying. Of course, friends tease. You could call that bullying, but
Yeah.
There was times where I felt very uncomfortable in my own body, like with the clothes I wore, constantly like just thinking about your weight. So that was probably like my main motive, was to just be comfortable in my own body, and to want to be comfortable in my own body, and to try to change my appearance and my overall feeling of myself.
Cool. So what was the very first thing you remember changing?
The very first thing
Yeah.
was my diet.
Okay.
Yes.
So was it a big diet change or a small diet change, or what were a couple of specific things that you did?
Well, for almost every meal, or at least for, of course, dinner time, for years, I would always go for seconds. I would always go for 2 plates. Like even, like, for example, like buffet, like, going for seconds. And so I guess it's more natural. It's a buffet. You're paying for.
Sure,
Yeah. But at home, I would eat 2 plates a day at least. That's one of the first things that I remember changing. Like, okay, like I'm not gonna eat 2 plates this time. I'm gonna just eat 1. And then once I changed that, over the years, over the progress, I began to actually eat right. I switched to white meat. I switched to chicken only and turkey, and vegetables. And I actually I actually had some help. Or I was watching like these videos of like these trainers on YouTube,
Yeah.
and they just anything they said, like I just followed it. And I had this friend by my side the whole time. He was the one who was telling me like, hey, like watch this video, like what he says is like I just remember him being there by my side, like kind of like motivating me. And that video said chicken, vegetables, like no sugar at all, not even fruit, like no fruit, like. And I was like, I gotta do it. Oh, and one of the biggest things that he said was every day at least walk for an hour. And he even said for better or quicker results to walk before eating. For example, like I would wake up in the morning before eating breakfast, I would go for a walk for about an hour. And that is, I feel like, is what really made a difference, was the walking.
Oh,
Just walking an hour, like not even running. I was always in football, but that is what really made a difference, I felt.
Yeah.
And then I got that from that video.
It's actually not a super hard change, but it's something that over time probably makes a big difference.
Yes.
Wow. How long did it take you before you felt you were at a pretty healthy weight? Like to get to that 175 mark? About how long did that take?
It was honestly very quick. A little too quick, I would think. It was about 6 months. Maybe.
That's great.
It was, around 6 months. Like halfway through junior year was when I started to change, and then by the beginning of my senior year, I was a totally different person.
Wow.
People didn't even recognize me. They were like, "What happened to you?" Like over a summer, it was pretty much like over a summer I just was changed.
Yeah.
And then those who were close to me, my junior year, started to see the difference that year. And they every day, like they would tell me like, "Hey, you're getting skinnier," and I'm like, "Really?" Like I didn't see it. It took me a while to see it.
Sure.
But they were like, "You're getting skinnier and skinnier." And I'm like, I guess that's good.
Well, it sounds like, I mean, 6 months is, relatively fast to lose the weight, and at the same time, it's not overnight. And that's why you probably were like, I don't really see it.
Yeah.
But because you're with yourself every day and you're keeping up with these changes, over 6 months, it is fast, and it's also, it does take a little bit of time. So, with that said, what is it, because you weren't really seeing your results, like you said, it took a while for you to see it. What really kept you determined? What kept you on that path? Because this is, I think, one of the biggest downfalls in weight loss that I've had and that I've seen others deal with, is that it's not instant. So it's like, how did you keep going? What was it for you?
It was the feeling that I had while just trying to change, eating right, exercising. It made me feel better. Although I wasn't maybe seeing results quick enough, I was feeling better about myself. So I was following the feeling of being healthy. And little by little, I started to look healthy.
So when you say feeling, was that both mentally and physically for you?
Yes.
That's cool.
More mentally, like walking every day, eating right. It changed my mentality before actually changing.
It's it's what they call the wizard brain versus the lizard brain. When you give in to that, when you actually, it's your prefrontal cortex. When you actually use discipline, there's a different kind of payoff. So that's really interesting. And that's really cool. Um, so once you're, did you happen to set any goals for yourself, or was it just a matter of doing the day-to-day things?
It was, I would say, day to day, but I did have a goal, and I did want to lose the weight.
Mm-hmm.
I did want to look different. I did want to feel different. So I could say I had a goal, was to lose all that weight. I never really would have thought I would get there. It just it happened quick, very quick. Like before you know it, I'm just like it's happening. Like it's seeing the results, and I just never would have thought I would see that day.
Mm-hmm.
It felt very good. Felt very good.
Yeah.
I'll say.
So you had that goal in mind, and the way you accomplished it was basically just doing the day-to-day stuff that you would, implementing those changes and keeping up with them.
Yes. Yeah.
Was there anything else you want to say about that?
Oh,
I'm always, sometimes I don't want to cut anyone off.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Especially if you had some thing that, a nugget you could share, which all of this is amazing, and this is helpful, I think. And again, please comment, tell us about the journey that you've been on, or what things worked for you, because I think that there's not always one magic pill for everybody, or one, there's not just one way to do things. There's other paths, so it's always good to, if you had something that worked, or also if there's something that resonates that John says, please comment and let us know. So on your journey, what was one of the biggest things you learned, and is there anything that you saw that you might do different, or that you might tell somebody, oh, I did this and that didn't work, or what was like one of the biggest things that resonated or worked for you on your journey?
That one seems a little hard.
Like, for instance, was there something kind of, I mean, and it may just be that you've already, expressed, like, that what you did was just a day-to-day thing. That might be it, but I didn't know if there was, like, something, I mean, for me, like, there was all these mistakes I made because I struggled with it off and on my entire life, but maybe there wasn't that for you, but I didn't know if there was some particular thing that stands out.
I would say maybe what worked was my change of diet. That's one thing I know for sure that made a big difference. Another thing that might have made a difference, or I know that really made a difference, was the portions that I would eat. I really lowered the portions by a lot, by a good amount. For example, I wouldn't eat 2 plates anymore. I would make sure I have more vegetables than I do of carbs, you would say. For sure, higher protein. But I don't think I would say anything that didn't work.
Okay.
I feel like everything that I was doing helped. So even not eating as much, eating 5 hours before bed is very important. I think. Like.
So you mean you stop eating 5 hours before you go to bed?
Yeah, like 7. I would make sure by 7 I already ate dinner and then would not eat after that. I would let my food digest and before going to bed.
Yeah. That also helps us sleep better too, because it's hard to sleep with a full stomach. It's like, why am I dreaming about my house on fire.
Yeah, some nightmares.
What is happening? Okay, so this is awesome. Lastly, I just want to ask you, if somebody came to you and said, oh my gosh, what would you say to somebody who wants to change their life like this? Like, what would you say to somebody who, if they asked you, like, what advice would you have?
I would say to do it. I would say that if you have that goal, or you want to see change in your life, to get it done and to not have any excuses, really. There's always going to be excuses, of course, which is just normal, but if you want to see a change, you have to go and get it. And it's worth it. Before you know it, it's already, you're seeing progress and you're seeing a change in your body, and that's honestly really the best addiction that someone should have. Is to be healthy. You know, going to the gym has actually honestly become like a habit for me. You could say an addiction, but a habit. And if you're gonna have a good habit, why not have a good one? I mean,
right.
If you're gonna have a habit, why not have a good one? Like that's what I always tell myself. Like I tell myself that life is about habits, because everything that we do is a habit. You wake up in the morning, you eat breakfast at a certain time, it's a habit. So if life's about habits, why not make them good habits?
Yeah.
Why not, eat right, exercise daily. Of course, we have busy schedules and it's hard to squeeze exercise in sometimes, but make good habits pretty much is what I would really say. Because I know there's people out there who, like me, once in my life, where I felt I was never going to see a day like this, a day where I felt comfortable in my own body. I have the confidence to just talk to people, to talk to people I'm interested in, going on dates. I never would have saw this day until I lost all my weight. It was in the end, it was worth it. In the end, like I would be very down before, like, oh, like I'm never going to find someone. I'm gonna just be me, be like this the whole time, and I had to change it. I would just kind of sit down a lot. I realized that you gotta keep moving in life. You have to keep moving, whether it's in life or just your well-being. You need to just keep moving. I'll find myself sitting down sometimes, like especially for school. You're doing homework, and I feel like even I blame school sometimes for like me feeling like I'm gaining weight or I'm being unhealthy, because I would be sitting for hours, but it's just, you have to just remain moving, and that's like really the best exercise you could get. It's just keep moving.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate you telling your story and sharing with everybody, because this is something that's doable for all of us. We don't have to be prisoners in our bodies. We don't, it is like John said, it is all about the habits that we choose. And there is a choice too. Realize that there is a choice, and it doesn't mean it's easy. It is simple, but it's not easy sometimes. And like John said, it is worth it. You're worth it. You're worth it to take care of your body and this life so you can give your gifts to others. So anyway, thank you so much for joining us. And again, comment below, like this video, and hope to see you again soon. Bye.
Bye.